are these people?
Yeah, we do have a lovely guest with us this evening. Day X is coming up, as you all should know by now. So I figured we'd bring on one of the activists other than Misty. Other than Misty this time. There is other ones. So without further ado, we're going to bring on Kendra Christian. I think that's how you pronounce things, hopefully. Hi, Kendra. How are you?
I'm good. How are you guys? Thanks for having us on. Appreciated.
I'm fantastic. So we wanted to bring a bit of one of our favorite writers, Caitlin Johnstone. So she writes The War on Journalism in Belmarsh, The War on Journalism in Gaza, correct? So this was when? January 25th. So not too long ago. Cool. So she writes, I haven't written much about Julian Assange lately because I've been so fixated on what's been happening in Gaza, but we should all be acutely aware that the 20th and 21st of February may be WikiLeaks founders' final chance to avoid extradition to the United States to face persecution for the crime of good journalism. Assange and his legal team will face two High Court judges during the two-day hearing in London, who will then determine whether or not the UK will allow the Australian journalist to be dragged to the US in chains for a crooked show trial and cast into one of the world's most draconian prison systems for exposing the war crimes of the world's most powerful government, as you do. Some U.S. lawmakers are attempting to block the extradition from the other end with House Resolution 934, which asserts that regular journalistic activities are protected under the First Amendment, and that the United States ought to drop all charges against and attempts to extradite Julian Assange. If charges were dropped, it would not only prevent the extradition, but allow for Assange to be freed from the Belmarsh maximum security prison, where he has been jailed by the British government since 2019, with 9 years in an Ecuadorian embassy before that, if I'm not mistaken. So, here's WikiLeaks. Call your reps today and urge them to sign Resolution 934. Regular journalistic activities are protected under the First Amendment, and that the United States ought to drop all charges against attempts to extradite Julian Assange. Very simple. Very simple, people. The fight to free Assange is a fight to protect press freedoms around the world, since the U.S. is using the case in an attempt to set a legal precedent for extraditing and imprisoning any journalist or publisher anywhere in the world who shares information with the public that the U.S. doesn't want shared. And it's worth mentioning that this fight is not actually separate from the fight against Israel's efforts to keep journalism out of Gaza by assassinating reporters and blocking the press from entering the enclave. It's also not separate from humanity's overall struggle to build a truth-based civilization, nor ultimately from our greater struggle to become a conscious species. All throughout humanity, there are pushes toward truth and seeing, and pushes towards secrecy and darkness. In the press, we see both the authentic journalists like Assange, who want all that is hidden to be made transparent, and the propagandists of the mainstream media who work to obfuscate and distort the truth. Those who seek the emergency of a harmonious and truth-based society want as much visibility into what's happening as possible, while tyrannical powers such as the U.S. empire and Israel are constantly working to dim the lights. Collin, Kendra, thoughts so far?
I always love reading one of Caitlin's articles. Actually, when Assange was first, dragged out of the embassy, illegally renditioned out of the embassy, she had this wonderful article that the Ron Paul Institute actually reposted, where she was just, she just called out everybody and was like, shame, shame. And she's, for us activists, she put, she says it very clearly, what's at stake. And there's also, she has a great article for anybody who's interested that just, it debunks every smear that you've heard about Assange. So yes.
Yeah.
Well said, Caitlin, again.
Yeah, she always manages to say the things I'm thinking somehow. It's very nice.
Right.
So,
yeah.
Collin, you're no stranger to Caitlin. What's your thoughts?
No. When is she ever wrong?
Good question. I'm sure there's a couple of times, right?
But
I'm sure her husband could come up with a few.
But he'd be wrong.
He'd be wrong. That's right. She tells him to read her words That's what we do. So here's Stella. Day X is here. The public hearing at the Royal Courts of Justice will be on the 20th and 21st of February. Maybe the final chance for the UK to stop Julian's extradition. Gather outside the court, 8:30 a.m. on both days. Man, we got to get up early to fight injustice. Can we like do this after 12? You know, like just me. So wherever you see domination and abuse, you see efforts to limit perception and keep human minds from seeing and understanding what's going on. It's true of empires. It's true of governments. It's true of cult leaders. It's true of abusive spouses. And it's true of the unpleasant dynamics within our own psyches that we would rather not look at. The less seeing there is, the more abusiveness is possible, the more seen things become, the closer we get to freedom. I'm no prophet, but I strongly suspect that our future as a species will be determined by the outcome of this struggle. If the impulse toward truth and seeing wins out, we are probably headed toward a world of health and harmony. If the impulse to keep everything confused and hidden, unconscious wins, we are probably headed for dystopia and extinction. In any case, all we can do is fight to make things more visible so that health and harmony become possible, fight to make these things conscious within ourselves, fight to keep journalism legal in the shadow of the empire, fight to spotlight Israel's atrocities in Gaza, fight to make the unseen seen, fight to bring humanity into the light of consciousness. So, you wanted us to bring this video, correct, Kendra?
Yeah, that'd be great.
Perfect. It's super short. We love short videos. Cool. And if I just play.
So what are you guys doing here today?
So my name's Kendra, and I'm with Denver Action to Free Assange, and we're here today. We're a small group of activists, and we want to send a clear message to our elected representatives. We believe that they have an indisputable constitutional responsibility to uphold the First Amendment and by extension to free Julian Assange. And we thought we would write our request to them where everybody can see it in chalk on the steps of the Capitol. It's just chalk, it will wash away, be erased by the wind, rain, or snow in a few days. But the video we make here today will not be erased. And we'll do our best to make sure that many, many American citizens and even people around the world who feel as strongly about this issue as we do see it.
Here's the message you guys want to deliver here today.
It's a message to our local and federal representatives. We voted for you. We elected you to be our representatives. We want you to listen to what we're saying. We want you to listen to your own conscience. We want you to do the right thing. We want you to step up.
Since when is it a crime?
To report on secretive, illegal, and immoral criminal acts by the members of our government.
To expose corrupt, treasonous members of government sworn to uphold the Constitution for which it stands.
To count on, rely on, and trust in the principle of freedom of speech in reporting the truth.
To hold you, our representatives, accountable to uphold that principle.
Courageous journalist Julian Assange is not a criminal.
He is a hero acting in the living spirit of our individual sovereign freedom.
We ask you to not be hypocritical, negligent, misinformed, and disingenuous.
We ask you to do the right thing, represent us, we the people, and represent yourselves. Uphold your sworn oath
To the United States Constitution. We know who you are. We're watching, waiting for you to act with integrity. To step up, to do the right thing.
Free Julian Assange now. Now.
Free Julian Assange! Free Julian Assange! Free Julian Assange! Free Julian Assange!
I mean, seems like a plan to me. So you run the Denver branch of Action for Assange, I think, correct?
So actually, we started on our own from the very beginning. So our group is, it's a similar name, but it's Denver Action to Free Assange. And
Gotcha.
we're just completely independent, but definitely we've been working with Action for Assange from the very beginning. We both kind of started at the same time. And so Andrew and Taylor took on those vigils. and that's how we met Misty and everybody. But there's a real core group of people who really, stepped up right at the beginning, who we still talk to and still, work with. It's just amazing, good people through. And there's been quite a few things that have happened, in these past 5 years, but, people from all different political backgrounds and things, but that have, come together and supported each other on this issue, especially.
Yeah. So tell me, you have events happening on the 20th, correct? So that's 4 to 6 p.m., right? State Capitol. This is for Denver. Yeah. So and you got some guest MCs, right? I think we'll get to them in a bit. So yeah, any specifics you want to tell people on what they should do, where they should go on that?
Yeah, definitely. Come meet us there at 4 p.m. If you are interested in speaking, we have on our flyer now that little QR code, so you can click there and sign up if you want, which we'd like you to do just so we have kind of a general idea of how many more people will be speaking. But we do, we always open the mic to the crowd and anybody that's there that wants to have their say, because it's really, that's why we're out there, is so that everybody can have their say, but yeah, we'll have some great speakers there. We'll have Jessica Fensky, who spoke before at our rallies. She's Forest Mommy on Twitter. And she's great. I reached out to her. I reached out to a few people right away, and Jessica was like, of course, I'll come and speak, supports free press. So we have one thing about our group that's important is that we are nonpartisan. We don't have a political ideology. We actually have, even from our very core committee at the very beginning, people from all different sides of the spectrum who've been now working together for 5 years. Everybody in that video, I love all those people, and lots of different views. But yeah, so we'll have Jessica Fensky speaking. We also have Dave Ashton and he's with KGNU, and he's going to come and speak and also do a write-up for us, which is so awesome, because it's really hard to get members of the press. I think when we've had some of these bigger events where, Julian's father, John Shipton, and brother Gabriel Shipton were in town, we have gotten some coverage. So we're happy about that. Appreciate Dave coming down. We'll have Jacob Loria speaking, and he's with the Libertarian Party. And then there is also a candidate running for Congress who supports Assange, and he's going to come and speak. His name is Galen Kent. I'll be speaking there. A lot of the activists that you saw in that video will be speaking. We have one activist, Justin, who is in there, and he's great. He does his own little things around Colorado, and I'm going to be posting some stuff on that too. So lots of speakers, and then we'll have musicians there as well. So I'll have some musical performances. Nice. The guy Mike Chappelle is his name, he was speaking right after I was in that video. And he put on, back in August, his idea was to do a, poetry and song contest for Assange. So we brought a lot of local people together, and and since then some more people have become more involved, so it's been really neat. And a lot of those people were in that video. For instance, that whole video came about from a meeting, and Bros Roland, who I have that posted on our Twitter if you guys want to see more about that. But that was, all him, the script, he's like, hey, I have an idea. It's like, nice. Okay, I'll get a bunch of chalk and we'll meet there. And then he put that video together, which I think it's so amazing. I think he did such a good job. And the script is just, it's perfect. It's what we want to say and what our reps need to do. We do have, I'm just going off because I don't have much time. So if you want to jump in here too.
You got all night. I could care not. Okay. I'm wondering, I'm wondering who's bringing tamales and green chili. I feel like that's important for Denver. I had
great Mexican.
Dude, I had family. My mother's from Pueblo, so it's not too far away from you. So Colorado Springs, Pueblo, that area. So I know all about the tamales. I miss it so much. Mexican food there is legit.
It really is. We have great Mexican food.
So good. But anyway, so we have Free Assange news, right? And they are telling you about actionnetwork.org, right? Links description below, right? And to donate to freeassange.org. Easy peasy. You got an extra $2 that you haven't given to Starbucks because we don't like them right now. Send it over there. So this lady, you know her, you love her, Miss Claire Daly. She's here to tell you what to do.
This is Claire Daly, MEP. I'm hoping that you can join me on February the 20th outside the Royal Courts of Justice in London to defend Julian Assange, defend a free press. This is the last-ditch attempt before the British courts to stop Assange's extradition. Please come along and join the protest. Imprisoning a person for reporting true information is never justifiable. Julian Assange is a political prisoner. Free Julian Assange.
I love her.
And you wonder why they censor her in Parliament. You wonder why that happens. So, like, literally they took the mic from her. It's so hilarious because she's just, like, used to it. She's just like, okay, I'm gonna just start shouting now. I guess that's what I do now. You know, like, I had a microphone, right. Now I don't. Anyway, like I said, links to donate in the description below. So another place to donate, Randy Credico, again, in the description below. He's doing another Billboard truck. I know the Billboard trucks have been a great success from what I've heard. So, you know, Credico been out there handing out flyers, doing the duty. So, you know, as well as Misty has a second Billboard truck. Again, links to donate in the description. She's getting there. 6,000. Easy peasy. Done. So, this is probably late number. I'm sure there's more by now. So, Kendra, anyone I'm missing?
Well, I know you're going to have Halo on, I think next week, but she's also putting together her boxes, and those are super helpful. You know, she sends those to activists all around the country, and they're all, you know, they're like working boxes, you know, so it's like stuff for you to do in there, but it's super helpful, especially for someone that's maybe just like kind of getting started or a smaller group. And honestly, even for our established group, it's been really helpful. And those, just comment on those Billboard trucks. That's a huge deal in a city like New York City, because there are a lot of people, you know, even us, we in our bubble. And people don't even know about it. People just don't know about it. I mean, Denver is pretty much a blackout for Assange, you know, and it's not because we haven't tried.
We need to make a Assange hot air balloon. That's what we need to do. You know,
one other thing people can do for the, which a lot of our group, we already have a yellow ribbon there, but there's an activist, Truman Human on X as well. And or Twitter, sorry.
Right. It's always Twitter. It's fine. You never have to change. Change is bad.
But he writes, you know, you send him your name and you will be there, you know, in spirit and with a yellow ribbon. I mean, and this thing has just gotten gigantic. So it's really powerful. Yeah, it's representing people all around the world. So, you know, you can be there too. On that day. So
skywriting, projector stuff, plenty of great ideas, people. Figure it out. Cardboard, Sharpie, you know, basic stuff. So riddle me this, Batman. The High Court in London has ruled that people in Scotland and Northern Ireland will not be permitted to log in and witness online the crucial public February 20th Assange appeal hearing. They warn to do so will be contempt of court and up to 2 years in jail. Craig Murray.
Why?
Working on an article. Why? Good question. Good question. How do you enforce? What, if I go watch Consortium News' coverage, I'm now heading to Belmarsh myself? Like, I say, you know, if my Scotland heritage has anything to do with it, they're gonna have lots of, they will just overrun you. This is how Scotland works. Like they will just, you know, get a giant two-handed sword and be Mel Gibson in a field. This is what they do, you know? So like, and they will do it in a skirt. So figure it out. But yeah, I mean, I just say have them all watch anyway. How many can you get to watch? They don't got that much prison space, you know? So
Assange's heritage as well.
You're right. Is it? Good question. Yeah, my last name's Bruce, so theoretically I'm supposed to have a throne there, right? So maiden name. But anyway, I think that's it. Any thoughts on Craig Murray and what he is reporting on that before we head out of here?
I was just going to say, you know, it's unbelievable to see that. And that's the thing, is that that's a lot of that. I do want to, you know, our two MCs, we've got Drew with Spiderland, and then also we posted about that. But I also want to read something from Sleepy, who's doing, you know, he has his own media. I need to connect you guys so that he can come on your show. You could come on your show. Not Sleepy Josh. We have our own Sleepy in Denver now. Okay. Sleepy awesome. I absolutely love him. All the Sleepies are great. I guess if you know a Sleepy, that's they're going to be awesome. But he had a good quote, and he had said this. This is posted for us too. I just want to make sure that I get this correct. But you know, he had said, he was talking just about the corruption, and he said, you know, the problem is that they also see a public that has not responded to protect brave people willing to speak up and expose a corrupt system. So I think, you know, Craig Murray's tweet is, you know, addressing what the consequences are of that. And if Assange is extradited, I mean, that's a completely closed court. It's something that most people, I think, don't even understand exists in the United States. And it does. And so that's, I mean, we here wouldn't know what's going on. I mean, God knows what they would come out with there, or what kind of jail time that would be, or what kind of jail time all the people reporting on Gaza right now would be looking at, you know? So it's a terrifying situation we're in. So we really hope that everybody will come out to join us for Day X. You know, we're going to keep standing up for this. Judy in our group has, you know, we have some other people that I just want to mention because they're pretty amazing and have been at it from the beginning. So we're going to have Bill House, been with me from the beginning, playing his song, The Messenger, which I posted recently as well. And then, you know, I do want to make a point that we have invited every single rep to speak. You know, we've sent them our video on House Resolution 934 and invited them to speak as well. So maybe one of them will show up. It would be great.
Yeah. One of them out of how many?
Well, we did the ones in Denver, on to the rest of Colorado, you know, so.
Have fun. But yeah, you got Drew and Mary, Spiderland, right? They're supposed to be there, I do believe.
Yeah, Drew and
so one thing I wanted to get your opinion on was we've seen quite a few politicians recently mention that in their first days in office they would extradite or pardon Assange. Does that not, wouldn't you have to have him convicted first to pardon?
No, I don't think you do, because that came up, and I can't explain all the technicalities of it, but that came up when, you know, when Trump was leaving office. There was a big movement to try to get him to pardon Assange. But I think what will happen is that I think a pardon is actually a good thing, because then I think that he can't be ever charged for that again either.
I think the thing is that he would be charged for that, though. Which would set precedent legally. You know?
I don't think so. I'm not positive. I would look into that, but I think that I would look into. I don't know.
Yeah.
But I know that you have to be definitely, yeah, the charges are there, but I think that it's
like, I
don't think it's like
you also
built.
run the DOJ. Just call them and have them drop the charges. And like, you know, statute of limitations on that means he would never get tried for it again. And there would be no precedent. So I don't know.
I don't know. I would look into that just because I do think there is it's something weird, you know, like a technicality with the law there. But pardon's not a bad thing, you know. But I agree. I mean, pardon him for what? He didn't do anything for you know, for writing the truth as a foreigner. Right. You know, he's not even an American citizen. And by charging him under the Espionage Act, they're declaring every single member of the public as a hostile force. Yep. You know, it's ridiculous.
So yeah, we will get next week. We'll have Halo and Paula on, most likely talking about Boston and DC. So Collin, you will definitely need to clear your schedule. You know. So, but yeah, anything else, Kendra, before we let you go here? Make sure we plug.
No, thank you for having us on. I really appreciate it. If you can, if you're in Denver, please join us on February 20th. It's a Tuesday from 4 to 6 p.m. at the Colorado State Capitol. Just come join us to stand up for Assange and your free press. We'd love to see you there.
Great. And I think I have your Twitter underneath you and links in the description below. Before we go, let's make sure I plug this. It is day 21, right? So interesting backstory on the 21st day's post. This is the, what is it? Carmen de Santiago, right? So this is Julian imagines him walking this pilgrimage every day, right? As he walks his cell. And I think he said he wanted to complete the actual pilgrimage upon his freedom. So, yeah, nice.
Can I say one thing?
Please.
I'm sorry, I just remembered it. We also, after the rally, we're having an after rally meetup too at the Squirm Gallery. So more people will be gathering there. You know, just a community of people, just freedom-loving people. There'll be more music and things like that. So that's they've opened the gallery for that. So that'll be also after the rally. So it's just really a whole day for Assange. So if you can make it, you're welcome to come there too.
Perfect. Collin, anything else?
No, just want to appreciate you, Kendra, for your activism and, you know, just helping people. You know, I think what Kaylin said is true. I think Gaza has been kind of inundated in the news cycle, and for good reason, but we have to remember, you know, what Assange has done, and that we still need to kind of lift him up in terms of activism for him as well, especially given the possible extradition here. So we need to do what we can to at least, at minimum, let the world know what Julian Assange stands for. And thank you and Misty and others for kind of leading that charge and helping people to keep that in their memories, in addition to everything else that's going on in the news right now.
Yep. So do all the things. Make sure to share this. It will be heavily suppressed, as I'm sure most of the Tonight Show will be. So hit that share button. I don't know if it does anything, but we'll find out. Leave a comment. That I know does some stuff. So let us know what you think. So and hit the like and subscribe. You know what to do already. Very easy. Kendra, thank you for coming so much. We appreciate what you do. So to our audience, we're gonna be right back. So don't go nowhere. And we're just gonna say bye to our guest and be right back. So enjoy the Jesse Jet tunes while you wait.
How it goes.